UK government introduces new visa pathway for workers. In this video, we will discuss the expansion worker route and its impact on employers. The UK government has recently announced changes to the UK immigration rules, which introduced various new visa pathways. As part of this overhaul, the Home Office introduced the new Global Business Mobility class, which came into effect on the 11th of April 2022. There are 5 subclasses under the Global Business Mobility category. 1. Senior Specialist Worker. 2. Graduate Trainee. 3. UK Expansion Worker. 4. Service Supplier, and 5. Secondment Worker. So, what is the Expansion Worker pathway? The new Expansion Worker pathway has taken the place of the representative of the overseas businesses visa option, usually known as the sole representative visa. This new pathway is specifically for companies looking to set up a branch in the UK and needs to send a team of executives and senior or technical specialist workers to promote the branch. As to sponsor a non-UK citizen for the Expansion Worker pathway, employers should first submit an application for a Global Business Mobility Expansion Worker permit. The fee for the application for this permit is £536. There should also be an authorising officer to supervise and maintain the permit once it is granted. If the authorising officer is based overseas, they must allocate the certificate of sponsorship to themselves and will be provided with a provisional permit in the Expansion Worker class until their entry clearance application is approved. If the entry clearance application is declined, the Expansion Worker permit is cancelled. If the authorising officer is successful with their Expansion Worker application, they should report to the sponsor management system to change their provisional permit to A rating. The Expansion Worker permit is valid for 4 years.
Brightest and the best.
Changing the UK
Single global
immigration system.
How to apply for an Expansion Worker visa. Once the Expansion Worker permit has been provided, employers can sponsor the initial Expansion Worker. The main condition for eligibility for this pathway is that the skill level of workers should be satisfactory, have paid nearly £42,400 per year, or the going rate for the role, whichever is higher, and have been working with the company overseas for a minimum of 12 months before they are transferred to the UK. The requirement for 12 months is not applicable for individuals with high earnings who have a salary of at least £73,900, according to the UK currency, or if the individual is a Japanese national wanting to establish a UK branch or a subdivision of the sponsor group, coming under the UK-Japan Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. The Expansion Worker permission will be given for the period of either 1 year from the start date of the job, 2. 14 days after the end date of the job, 3. Date on which the individual has continuous permission as a UK expansion worker totaling 2 years, or 4. The date on which the individual has cumulative permission in the Global Mobility Business Pathways, adding 5 years in a 6-year period. If the visa is awarded for 1 year, it can be extended further to 1 year. If the person applying has any dependents on them, those dependents can accompany the applicant if the necessary financial conditions are fulfilled, including a spouse, a genuine unmarried partner, and biological and adopted children under the age of 18. This pathway does not lead to permanent residence in the UK, so the individual must transfer to another Global Mobility Business Pathway if they have plans to apply for settled status. The typical restrictions of leave also apply to this pathway, including that the person cannot receive public funds, and the typical sponsor permit conditions apply to the employer. What are the benefits of the Expansion Worker pathway? One of the major drawbacks of the sole representative visa pathway was that only a single migrant was allowed under that pathway. While under the Expansion Worker pathway, up to 5 migrants can be sponsored. Additionally, employers can be benefited greatly from this pathway as it has one of the lowest overall fees. This visa costs employers £280, inclusive of an application fee of £259 and a certificate of sponsorship fee of £21. Although there is a mandatory annual health surcharge of £624, the employers are not required to pay the immigration skills charge, which can add up to £1,000 per year for a big company. There is no requirement for the English language under this expansion worker pathway. What are the possible issues with the expansion worker route? While the new expansion worker pathway provides numerous benefits to employees and employers wanting to expand their business in the UK, there are some major disadvantages for employers to be aware of. UK trading presence. Contrary to the sole representative visa, this pathway requires a UK trading presence, meaning that a person would need to be hired locally first, or the overseas candidate should make trips to the UK to sign a lease, create a bank account, and to take care of certain matters. This can be costly for the business for the initial setup of their mark in the UK. Overseas trading presence for 3 years. This condition means that the company applying for an expansion worker permit must provide bank statements, audited accounts, and other company documentation for the last 3 years prior to the application. The administrative load and lead time will be higher for the company under this new pathway in comparison to the sole rep visa pathway. Evidence of planned expansion to the UK. The company must provide sincere proof of plans to come to the UK. This surpasses the level of information which was required for the sole rep pathway, and is also likely to result in problems regarding what constitutes evidence of a genuine planned expansion, leading to inconsistent decision-making by the Home Office. License application. The need for companies to apply for a permit in the expansion worker class before migrants can be sent to the UK as expansion workers creates an exponential demand for caseworkers, especially when current attention has already been diverted to assisting with the Ukraine refugee schemes. The skilled worker permits on priority will be even more doubtful to acquire. Moreover, companies will need to give 3 to 4 months lead time when applying for the sponsorship permit for expansion worker employees, which needs to be factored in separately from the processing time of the visa application itself. We have reached the end of today's video update. Like, share and subscribe to our channel for more latest updates. Thanks for watching.